going? Cool, it's going. Yeah, another rant. Ooh, I'm off center. That's not good. There we go. Better. New rant. Hopefully my phone doesn't say, oh, you ran out of storage, and just stop recording halfway through. That was frustrating. So, website age limits. You'll also probably notice that we're back on the old camera. I think rants 12 and 13 were recorded on a different phone because this one ran out of storage, and I was trying to remedy that issue, but I still needed to film more content, and so I just grabbed my old phone. Yeah, that was a bad idea. The audio in that is very shit. Video's not that bad. Video's kind of understandable. It had like a weird color grading effect where it was more blue with that camera. I don't know why. Maybe if it's just like the color gradient or however. This room is relatively warm in coloration, despite the kind of bluish tinge of the light bulbs. It is more of a warm palette, so it was kind of strange that that phone was making it bluish. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, website age limits. What I mean by this is, usually to make an account on a website, you have to be 13 and up. And I find it really strange that they start at 13. Now I get it, because 13, you're a teenager officially, whatever. But I think 13 is still too young, right? Especially for some of the content on YouTube. YouTube has gone batshit insane with some of the content they allow. Like, naked yoga is just a thing on YouTube. You can literally go on YouTube and just find like tits and ass, boom, right there. And it's educational content, which I don't see how it is, but it is. It's labeled as that, and so it's fine to be on the platform for some reason. And it's just like, okay, and if you're 13 or older or with parental permission, I hate that caveat so much, because you have no way of determining or not whether parents actually gave permission, right? The contracts and things that YouTube have to say, oh yeah, you're good to go, do you have parental permission? Checkbox. Like, a kid can click that, no problem. Especially if they're like on the cusp of making count, like they're 11 or 12 years old. So they're close to that 13 mark where they can make themselves, but everybody's on YouTube, everybody's watching YouTube, and they want to save the content that they watch. They want an account so they can subscribe to certain channels, so they can have a curated content, stream. And so they want to make an account, which is completely understandable. If you want that curated content, right? When I open YouTube, I expect to see videos that I will probably enjoy and click on and are relevant to me. Whenever I go on a new computer or anything like that, and I open up YouTube because I'm bored and I want to watch a video, and I see all the shit that's on the bog standard YouTube page, like front page normal YouTube, like what they recommend their general audience to see, somebody without an account. And I'm like, who the fuck watches this? I don't recognize any of the people other than those that are already prominent in like mainstream media, right? The videos look all cringe as shit. It is a cacophony of sound, and not sound, but it's a cacophony of colors and lights that's just like, this is too much information to process. It needs to be mellowed down a bit. Just like, who enjoys this content? Who, really? I don't get it. But that's what YouTube wants to push. They want to push these content creators. That's why they're on the, faceless page of YouTube when you're not signed in. And it's just like, no, screw that. And so you sign, and you're like, there we go. There's all the content that I've curated over the years and years of me saying that I was born in 1986. Like, so many accounts that I've made were just like, oh, you need to be 13 or up. I'm like, or you need to be like 16 or up, you need to be like 18 and up. I'm like, I just want to look at some standard content, man. I just want to watch videos, like, or I just want to play this game, or I want to have, an account. Some games require you to have accounts to play them, or just like save your progression so you can get cool shit. But you have to be like 16 or older, or you have to be like the rating of the game. And I think game ratings are a good thing. I think they're a valuable thing to have, because they can immediately tell consumers, primarily parents, whether or not the content is suitable for their children. But I think many parents have gotten lazy in recent years, and so they're blaming all these violent video games when they need to blame themselves for purchasing said games with no care for the rating. We went through this whole cycle back in the 90s where parents were upset that kids were getting these violent games, and games were getting more obviously visually complex then. Obviously huge drivers were things like Mortal Kombat, Night Trap. There's another one that was for like the TurboGrafx 16. I can't remember what it's called, but also I love one of the most one of the funniest lines from that court proceeding is, a game like Night Trap will never appear on a Nintendo console. You can buy Night Trap for the Nintendo Switch. I get, it was back in the 90s. You weren't thinking about it, and you weren't thinking that game was going to last or anything like that. But I still kind of find it kind of funny. But I feel the rating system is useful, and I'm fine with the rating system because there should be a rating system. There's a rating system for film. Why not a rating system for video games? Video games should actually deserve a rating system more so than film because you are actively a part of it. You are contributing to it. So a rating system makes significantly more sense in a video game context than a film context. But, parents are lazy now. They've been getting lazier and lazier and lazier for years. I think that's just pretty obvious. But to the point where they're blaming all these violent acts from mentally deranged people on violent video games. That seems kind of dumb because the only way for them to get those games is either they are a grown adult in which they can legally purchase those games, and if they're adult, they should be allowed to view and watch that or view and participate in that content. Perfectly fine. Or if they're a child, you as the parent have to control what the child sees, right? If you're 15 years old, you cannot buy a M-rated game. You have to wait 2 years, right? But you'll ask for it on your Christmas list or on your birthday list or your Hanukkah list or whatever. You'll ask for for the next Call of Duty or whatever. I don't know. I don't really play first-person shooters that aren't like really fucking weird. Like I play Overwatch sometimes. I couldn't get into CSGO. I couldn't really get into Valorant, mainly because my computer could barely run that shit. My computer barely runs Overwatch, but I have a more fun time playing Overwatch because you don't need map knowledge. The problem I find with CSGO and Valorant is you need map knowledge, and I don't have that, and I don't want to take the time to learn that because when I play a game, I just want to be able to get in, know what I have to do, get out, right? But in order to play effectively with those types of games, you need to know the maps. And it's just like, nah, to play effectively in Overwatch, you could be batshit insane, do whatever the fuck you want. You can stand in a corner as Junkrat and just hurl bombs and then hope shit works, and it works, right? Like, I feel that game, especially with the game modes and how it's laid out, you don't need that much map knowledge. You need some, kind of, but you can figure out the map as you're playing on a match-by-match basis, and it works just fine. It's a very jump-in, jump-out kind of game, and I like that. That's what I want from a game, is for me to jump in, be able to do what I need to do, jump out, right? Like, that's why League of Legends is weird, because it's not a fun game, nor it is a bad game. It's just a game. Like, it's something to do. Your brain just kind of zones out when you play League. I have never met a single person that actually enjoys playing League of Legends. They just play League of Legends because they have it, and it's something different than what else they have, right? It is a weird game that is in a limbo of enjoyment and play. It's quite strange. But something I'm fine with League is you don't need map knowledge. I feel I can jump into a game of League, stick to my lane. If I usually try to play top because I feel the easiest lane to play. That's the lane I started in. The first lane I ever played was top, and the main lane I play is top because that's just what the friend that I have that introduced me to League of Legends. He's like, I'll play this, you play top. It's just like, okay. And so, I declared top. This was before the matchmaking system in League. So this was before you could declare a role. So I just had to like get in the game with like top, like copy pasted, and just go like boom. That way I could declare it as fast as possible and get it. And then I'd be, Garen top laning or Nasus top laning. It's just like, I like this. This is nice. And I still do that. Obviously I don't have to, do the quick type thing, but I still play, Nasus top because he's an easy character to understand. His abilities are relatively decent. They're not the best, but I'm okay with them. Especially if you really can work well with his Q. Fucking insane how much damage that thing can do. Also, if you like increase ability power, you increase healing from abilities, and you increase mana regen and stuff, and mana total. So, dude becomes insane. And if you have the right runes on him, I love it. I love playing Nasus. But yeah, the ratings, I can't remember what league is rated. I think it's rated teen. I'd imagine it'd be rated teen because there's like some light blood or whatever, and there's tobacco use, and so it's just like, okay, I think it's rated teen. It's a free game, which is nice. But yeah, like I don't know how old you have to be to make a Riot account. You might have to be 13, you might have to be 17, you might have, I don't know how, I imagine it'd be 13 with teen rated game, 13, yeah. Most websites, I think it's 13 is the minimum because their content is rated teen, and so it has to be like teen based. We have PG-13 and you have teen rated games, and it's just, but have you ever met a 13-year-old? I don't trust a 13-year-old with anything. They are horrible. I was once a 13-year-old. Everybody was, and it's just like, ew, bad. I would straight up punch my 13-year-old self right now and tell him to fucking fix his shit. Right? Like, the amount of the transition I went through mentally, I think from 13 to 14, or 14 to 15, I can't remember which. But I was fucking insane, right? I was a communist. I was a communist when I was 13, right? Now I despise it. I despise communism, but I was just a dummy. I was a dummy then, and I thought communism was like the best way. And communism works in a Minecraft server. Communism works in an existence where everybody knows everybody and everybody can trace everybody's actions. And so if you do anything that would harm somebody else, then you can easily be punished. But that's not how things work in the real world. And nobody wants a surveillance state or whatever. Right? They don't. And communism kind of requires an altruistic society. Everybody looks out for everybody, but that's just not how shit works. I mean, you look at the shit that you go through every single day, right? And do you see every single person acting out in benefit for every single person near them? God, especially in some of the big cities. Hell no. No, big cities are shit, right? They truly are. But I don't really know how to describe things in a manner that properly gets across all my ideas about how dumb I fucking was and how dumb many 13-year-olds are. I'm pretty sure everybody looks back at their 13-year-old self and cringes. If you don't, you're fucked up in the head. Right? Because I think around that time, between the 12 and 15-year-old stages, your body and your brain are going through so many changes, and you're getting introduced to all these new things, and you think you're more grown up than you actually are, because you have hair in strange places or whatever. I don't fucking know. But you try to act more mature than you are by such a significant margin. and the beliefs that you have at that age of what an adult is and what adult mindsets are and ideologies are, it's a problem. Not to mention, you also want to go against the status quo because you want to be your own person. But you realize against the status quo in a good nation like the US is retarded. Yeah, it kind of hurts you. We're at like 15. Okay, that's not bad. I'm very limited for time today, so I can't film too much. I woke up late and I have a later engagement, so it's kind of a thing. So I might only get through like a couple of videos today, which stinks, but yeah, I want some change in how websites deal with age stuff. I don't want to have people show their IDs. I think that's ridiculous, and I think that's a very scary thing to do. And you know, kids are gonna lie. So I don't know. I don't know how it would get changed in a manner that I would like, right? To verify that, you know, you're of age or whatever. I don't think that's ever gonna get to that point. But something that seriously hurt YouTube, both for creators and the platform itself, is YouTube was marketing itself as one of the fastest growing platform for kids. Not YouTube Kids, YouTube, mainland YouTube. Was marketing itself and saying that, you know, it's a fast growing platform for kids and it's a great place for kids, blah, blah, blah. But due to the many practices of YouTubers and the site and all this other things, child advertising laws kind of came into effect and ruined the platform. You know, if YouTube would have marketed YouTube Kids like they should have and left YouTube to be a 13 and up platform, we would have avoided this huge shit. Now, every time I upload a video, I have to say, no, this is not made for kids, right? And for creators, it's a pain in the ass because if you make a video for kids, 80% of your revenue is pretty much gone because, you know, advertising to kids, you can't really do that. So you have to find sponsorships in that regard. And then if you make videos that are not meant for kids, then you run the risk of, if you're a bit too raunchy or a bit too edgy, then advertisers won't want to sponsor your content or you'll get demonetized and then you can't make money that way. So the line that creators have to skirt and balance on so that their content can get the most revenue possible for the amount of work that some of them put in. I don't put in that much work. None of my videos are monetized. I don't meet monetization requirements. None of that. But some of these YouTubers put in a lot of effort, and because of YouTube's policies and the way they changed and all the court cases and stuff, you know, YouTube got ruined significantly in the advertising market space and completely screwed over the creators, especially those that work very hard in the editing department and the performance department, stuff like that. So that's my 2 cents on that. I don't know if it'll ever get fixed or anything like that, but only time will tell. We're at about 18 minutes now, so I think it's a good stopping point. I guess see you on the next one. I have a Twitter. If you looked up Flunked, I think my @ is @moonofgame. I recommend a follow. I don't really post much there, but it's something that I have. So, peace.